The story begins man who seems possessed, stabbing himself non-stop. His daughter rushes in, terrified, but then spots a demon right behind her dad. Not sure what it said to him, but suddenly he knocks over an oil lamp and burns himself alive on the spot. Fast forward more than a decade, and the little girl, Sophie, has grown up. Today's the day she reports to her new school. Just as she's about to enter her dorm, a weird cold breeze hits her. Inside, she finds 2 missing persons posters on the wall. Then, 2 senior girls run up to her because this room belonged to one of the missing girls from the posters. Their looks say this room's not exactly lucky, but Sophie doesn't catch on and starts tidying up. After she finishes, she spots a photo of 3 girls and 2 boys. That includes those 2 seniors she just met. One of the girls must be Mary, who lived here and went missing. As Sophie wonders about their connection, the photo slips under the bed. When she reaches down, she's shocked to see a terrifying ghost face staring back. Next door, Senior Mona saw herself in the mirror cutting her neck, but she didn't seem scared. The day after, when Sophie told her about the strange events, Mona stayed quiet. She only said that the weirdest thing was 2 students had gone missing last year. Mary disappeared after her father picked her up. No one's seen her since, and everyone's worried. Then Huifang mentioned the missing boy, Lu Qi. Many believe he killed himself since they found a note in his locker that looked like a suicide letter. The problem is, no bodies have ever been found. Sophie thought they might be dead, and the ghost she saw could be Mary. Nearby, 2 boys started arguing about Mary's disappearance, Zage and Curly. Curly accused Zage, but Zage insisted Mary was his friend, and he worried too. Their fight eventually ended. Sophie remembered the photo had Lu Qi and Zage, the missing boys, who were close friends with Huifang and Mona. That night, Sophie felt someone outside while showering. She peeked out but saw nothing and went straight to her dorm. Unnoticed by her, a female ghost appeared in the mirror as she left. That night, Sophie dreamed weirdly of Lu Qi, a boy she didn't know. In the dream, he looked possessed, stabbed his ear with a sharp object, then ran crazy out of the room. Finally, he killed himself by slashing his neck over a well, where his body dropped in. He was the first to check behind the dorm and found Lu Qi's body in the storage room. When the police came, Curly, who'd argued with Zage earlier, showed up, snapping photos non-stop. Meanwhile, Huifang tearfully told Mengna she'd seen a ghost in the dorm last night and feared for her safety. Mengna told her not to worry, saying ghosts aren't real. Sophie then arrived, curious how they found Lu Qi's body. It turned out Sophie had psychic abilities since childhood and could sense ghosts, which is why she saw the demon that killed her father. After hearing about Sophie's situation, Mona thought since Sophie found Lu Qi's body, she might find another missing classmate, Mary. So, they planned to visit Mary's house. Before leaving, Curly ran over, suspicious of why Sophie knew about Lu Qi's body. Zach pushed Curly aside, accusing him of nervousness and implying Sophie might be involved. Curly was silent and watched them leave. At Mary's yard, Sophie felt an unexplained fear and leaned against the window to watch closely. Suddenly, a ghostly face appeared in the glass, made her hand bleeding. The others heard the noise and rushing in to find her. They quickly bandaged Sophie's hand and they entered the room. While searching for clues, Sophie heard a voice and slowly drifted away from the group. Suddenly, she seemed possessed. Lowering her head, her eyes turning white. A female ghost appeared in the mirror and led her to another room. The bed flipped open, revealing a magic circle. Sophie knocked twice unconsciously. Black smoke rose, and a strange magic book appeared. Sophie was controlled as someone recited a spell, like a ritual. Luckily, Mona arrived just in time to stop it. The group noticed that the magic circle had their names, except for Mary's. Clearly, the curse targeted them. Mona realized Mary was using this magic to curse them, and hoped Sophie, a medium, could break it. Sophie wanted to understand Mary's cursed tone, but whether they truly didn't know or pretended, they acted like victims. In the end, Sophie had no choice but to try breaking the curse. Each held a shard of broken glass, rotating them while shaking hands. Forming a circle, their grip tightened, and blood dripped into the magic circle. Suddenly, Sophie's eyes rolled back as she chanted a spell non-stop. Soon, a malevolent spirit was summoned. It told Sophie that the 5 great sinners were cursed, and their descendants would live in fear. To lift the curse, Sophie had to become its slave, which she refused. The demon, furious, hissed threats and left. The group was baffled, unsure what the 5 great sinners meant. It's clear they're headed for trouble. Only Hui Fang looks scared. Zack and Mona seem fine. Mona took the spellbook home. She glanced at her sleeping uncle and poked his beard. He grabbed the book and woke up, unaware of the beard poke, then struck back, and the tussle continued like before. Meanwhile, after Zack dropped Sophie and the others at the dorm, the demon showed on the rearview camera and jumped inside, grabbing Zack's throat. Sophie and Hui Fang noticed in time, so Zack wasn't frozen by fear. Later, while removing makeup, Hui Fang saw a ghost. She didn't die but was seriously scared. Meanwhile, that very same night, Mona had a terrifying dream where she saw her uncle being strangled to death, just like everyone expected it would happen. When she woke up, clutching torn pages, she knew her dream was real. She rushed to Mona's place, where a magic circle was drawn, and Hui Fang held the spellbook proudly. Hui Fang explained that Mona had been abused by her uncle since childhood, and even got pregnant by him. That man deserved to die. Sophie felt sympathy but knew the spellbook couldn't stay with Mona. They couldn't fight for it now, so she decided to wait. This shattered their relationship forever. The next day, Curly saw Sophie being ostracized and approached her. He was Mona's ex-boyfriend. Sophie learned from him that Zago had bet with Luci on who could get close to Mary first. Zago won and gave his victory to Luci and others. Then Mary's explicit photos spread. Her dad took her home and she disappeared. Likely dead. Curly had secretly photographed Sophie, but the photos showed a ghost resembling Mary, maybe asking for Sophie's help. Later, Mary's ghost appeared in Sophie's room, whispering, "Help me." The next day, Sophie invited Curly over. Mona, jealous and unwilling to lose her ex, used the spellbook to get revenge. She sneaked into Sophie's dorm, stealing her drawings and photos, planning to kill her just like her uncle. Hui Fang tried to stop her, but Mona ignored her pleas, even telling Hui Fang, her best friend, to support her. Helpless, Hui Fang begged outside. Suddenly the door swung open, but Mona seemed possessed, as if a demon had taken over her. Mona yanked a clump of Hui Fang's hair. Hui Fang, sensing something was wrong, dashed outside, but the demon appeared in its true form and killed her on the spot. Meanwhile, Sophie, at Mary's house, fainted. In her dream, she saw a tragic woman being assaulted by 5 men. The woman wrote those men's names in the spellbook, sacrificing her life to curse them and their descendants, with a curse named after herself, Surugan. Sophie felt sorry for Surugan, but wondered how her classmates were connected to that curse. How did Mary find that magic book? While puzzled, Mona had already made a deal with Surugan, even willing to become a demon slave to take Sophie down. As they were about to leave, they were attacked. Farma was even injured with glass in his head. Amid Sophie's breakdown, a ghostly figure resembling Mary appeared, guiding him. But he soon entered another illusion. It turned out Mary planned to use the book to curse Mona and others, but her father stopped her. He was one of those who originally signed the curse on Surugan. Initially, he had only found the magic book. At first, they didn't notice the curse, but it soon became clear. They called a shaman to suppress Surugan, but Mary's actions broke the seal. Her father locked her away, but it was too late. Surugan woke. Only Luci died then, but Mary's father was killed instantly. The ritual was unfinished, so Surugan was sealed again until Sophie was tricked by Mary's ghost to complete it. Initially, Surugan followed Memona's wishes and helped kill his uncle. However, when Memona tried to use the curse again, Surugan realized something was wrong. The 5 now were descendants of the scumbags who attacked Surugan, so he took over Memona for revenge. Back to now, Sophie finds Mary locked up, her father's corpse hanging above. Surprisingly, Mary's alive. As Sophie tries to free her, Surugan, controlling Memona, appears holding Sophie's barely alive ex, Guan Mao, hostage. Sophie, unaware Memona is possessed, thinks she won't hurt Guan Mao. Surugan is amused and nearly kills Guan Mao on the spot. Then he slashed Memona's throat. Sophie finally saw the truth, and after witnessing 2 classmates die before her eyes, she broke down screaming. Next thing, Mary's spirit possessed her again. She broke free from the chains, muttering nonsense that Sophie couldn't understand. Seizing the moment, Sophie grabbed a dagger and stabbed Mary to death along with her. Surprisingly, Mary regained consciousness long enough to whisper thank you. She must have suffered a lot during all this. Sophie later reported the only survivor, Zaig, who was sent to jail. She also burned the magic book. So can the Surugan curse be lifted? Clearly not. That magic book soon reappeared in her hands. Zaig, imprisoned and seemingly possessed, killed himself by crashing into a wall. Sophie appears chosen by Surugan as the demon slave. And that's it. The end of today's story. If you made it this far, you're braver than most. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Bahal Recap, where every nightmare has a next chapter.